Okay, for next question, we have this equation here. As you see, this is not looking like a quadratic equation. Actually, this equation is an exponential equation. Why? Because the x, or your variable, is in the exponent. So that means the equation is exponential. But if you don't remember anything about exponential rules, don't worry, I will explain everything here. Okay, so here, if you see the 2 to the power of x, and here we have 2 to the power of 2x, which are kind of similar to each other. So what I can do here, do you remember there was a rule in exponentials which was a to the power of m to the power of n? We call it the power of power rule, if you remember. We can do a to the power of m times n. So you can just multiply the powers. You can use this formula in the other way. So if you see something like this, you can write it as the left side. Okay, so here, do you see this 2 to the power of 2x is similar to the right side of this. So I'm gonna just separate the powers, which is 2, which are 2 and x. So now, which one should I keep inside the bracket? Because x here is inside the bracket, I'm gonna put the x inside the bracket and 2 out of it. So what do I mean by that? Let me just show it here. So instead of 2 to the power of x, I'm gonna write 2 to the power of x to the power of 2. This is going to be the same thing, right? Because if you multiply these, it's going to be 2x. And I will repeat the rest of the equation. The same thing, plus 8 is 0. Okay, now, as you see, 2 to the power of x is repeated. I can name it anything that I want. I'm gonna just do t for these two guys. These are the same. I'm gonna name them t. So basically, I'm doing 2 to the power of x is t. Okay. So now I'm gonna rewrite the equation using t. So instead of 2x to the power of 2, 2 to the power of x to the power of 2, I'm gonna write t to the power of 2. Right? Does it make sense? T to the power of 2 minus 9. Instead of this big thing, I'm gonna just write t plus 8 equals to 0. Okay, this is a normal quadratic equation, and we can solve it easily. You can use factoring methods, you can use the quadratic formula, or whatever you want, but factoring seems very easy here. So I have two brackets, t and t. Okay, I have to find two numbers which add up to -9 and multiply to 8, and you know those two numbers are -1 and -8. This one is very easy. -1 plus -8 is -9, and -1 times -8 is going to be plus 8. Okay, so what are the roots here for t? I have 1 times 1 from this one, and from this I will have 8. Okay, so I found the values of t, but I need x. I need to find the value of x, not t. So I have to continue. How can I continue? Just instead of t, you can write 2 to the power of x, right? So for both. So 1 time 2 to the power of x is 1, and 1 time is 8. And solving these two is very easy. 2 to the power of what number is 1? You know that any number to the power of 0 is going to be 1. Just if it is 0, 0 to the power of 0 is a little bit complicated, so we are not discussing that. But any number other than 0 to the power of 0 is going to be 1. So we have 2 here, so 2 to the power of 0 is 1. So that means x is 0. And here, what number to the power of, 2 to the power of what number is going to be 8? You know that 2 to the power of 3 is 8, right? So that means x is 3. So how many answers do I have for this equation? 2 answers, 0 and 3.